What is the vegan diet? The vegan diet is touted as one of the most healing diets and also one of the most popular diets, especially in today's day and age. Now, the vegan cult leaders are preaching how it can help do things like cure cancer, help you lose weight, help you balance your cholesterol levels. But there's also a dark side to veganism, and this is the vegans that you may have run into in your own lifetime. They kind of have a reputation, and this reputation is not a good one. And there are many reasons for this. Before I get into a lot of the science and the nature of this video, which is about the way that the vegan diet affects men's hormones, think about a vegan that you might know. Think about their skin health. How do they smell? How is their mental health? How is their dental health? Mental, dental, it sounds kind of similar. Are any of these things slacking? Now, you got to be careful with the vegan diets because like most diets, they have about a 6-month to couple year window where you may actually see benefits and positive results. And these positive results make people think that this is the best diet for them to adhere to for the rest of their lives. And this is just the iceberg tip of the veganism problems. So most diets are about losing weight, getting into good shape, getting ripped, but the vegan diet comes with another level. And this is the grand morality that these people are standing on. They feel like they're high and mighty because they're avoiding all animal products. And then in turn, they're saving animals, they're saving the environment, and they're the best people ever, and you should thank them for this. And not only that, but you have a problem if you're not vegan. Now, I could go into how this affects your hormones mentally, but there's a lot more damaging effects happening with the actual diet itself. Now, this one I see in a lot of friends who have actually chosen to go vegan. And yes, I'm actually friends with some vegans. I know that's not usually common, but I do empathize with them for multiple reasons. And the first one is that they usually have an intestinal bacteria overgrowth. And this overgrowth comes from all of the foods they're consuming, that super high fiber, nuts, grains diet. That's the base of most of their meals. And this is what causes this intestinal overgrowth in these people. And as we already are learning from cutting edge science, the gut has become the second brain. And when these things go awry, you find that it affects your mental health. It affects how you feel, how your stomach feels, but it also affects your energy levels. But not only this, there's also the conversation of bioavailable vitamin A, bioavailable vitamin B12, and psychosteroid hormone D, otherwise known as vitamin D. Now, a lot of the vegans love to talk poorly about cholesterol, but another thing that's important with cholesterol is that it helps create your hormones. It creates the hormones within your body. Now, my vegan friends, they'll always tell me that, well, I don't consume animal foods because I want to save the animals. I want to do the right thing for the environment. Here's the issue with that. Consuming an animal product is not going to kill nearly as many animals in order to get sustenance as it would if you were to go and get your food from a monoculture farm where they're spraying, where they're going through and killing everything in sight so that they can grow their crop with the least amount of resistance possible. And the thing with vegans is that they will argue everything. Every single point, every single scientific study will always have a counter argument. And that is why this diet is such a toxic one, not only physically for your body, but also mentally for your well-being, because you have to be able to understand that there are caveats to each diet, and there are things that they're good for, and there are things that they're not good for. For example, I call the vegan diet a vegan fast because some people actually may benefit from spending 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks consuming just vegetables. And that's something that people may need to do, consuming just greens, consuming just plant foods and fruits. But most people are not in this boat. People see the weight loss, and then they also feel like they're morally better than everyone else. And this combination is deadly. Not only deadly for making you turn into a total jack, but it also gets you into quite the interesting situation where your body starts to go into starvation mode and you start gaining the weight that you once lost. Now, there's 2 ways that this can go. You can either be eating a dirty vegan diet with all the processed vegan foods, and this is usually the one where they'll gain the weight, or you can be doing a very clean vegan diet and you can become malnourished and look like those vegans that you see on the memes, the ones you are supposed to avoid, the ones that are having their teeth fall out and the ones that are super skinny skinny and do not look happy or healthy. But they will make sure to tell you every single day how happy and healthy they actually feel. And a lot of this actually has to do with their cholesterol levels. And this ties directly into hormone production. People think that it's just good HDL and bad LDL, but you need the good HDL and the good LDL in order to synthesize hormones like testosterone and estrogen within your body. And now estrogen actually has benefits. It provides things like getting yourself rigid and stiff, if you know what I'm saying. And it also provides that extra oomph, that extra feeling of desire. And now here's the thing. I've spoken to multiple vegans and I've seen this online where they say their partner, who is also vegan, will ejaculate clear liquid. Now, that might sound healthier because it seems like it's more pure, but that's a sign that there's something seriously going on with your manly parts that seriously needs some awareness, because that's not normal. And that is just one of the many few problems that these men are facing with their vegan diets. So when it comes to diets, the vegan diet is actually one of the most restrictive on micronutrients and quality cholesterol. These foods do not break down as easily as animal foods within the body, but there is a benefit of fermented foods. And fermented foods are things like kimchi or sauerkraut. These have a lot more bioavailability than something like beans, rice, or other common vegan staples. And yes, there are examples of vegans out there who are actually in good shape, who are bodybuilders, who are fit, who take care of themselves, who look good. But just because they look good does not mean that everything is going well under the hood. They can actually have very low testosterone and still have a good muscle build if they're consuming enough protein. Now, with veganism, you have to consume more protein than normal because not all of it gets digested. So these bodybuilders know that, and they make sure to uptake their protein intake on a daily basis so they can achieve their protein goals. But the issue here is that just because they are vegan bodybuilders doesn't mean that they don't have other health problems, especially mental health. And this is one of the biggest issues I see with the vegan diet. Now, being vegan is actually a bit of a privilege because it's not easy to consume food and be able to afford food and getting enough calories that are all from vegan foods. And this also comes with that change in your macronutrient profile, because most people are already having issues getting enough macronutrients and micronutrients. But the micronutrients is really where the brain health starts to decline. And when you don't get those micronutrients, especially things like retinol, vitamin A, your brain and eye health is going to start to suffer. Now, there are also studies that show that your SHBG levels do get elevated on the vegan diet. Now, this isn't the end of the world. This isn't the worst thing to happen to the vegans. There are far worse consequences of going vegan, but this is something to be aware of because your body is going to increase the SHBG just like it would be if it was in starvation mode, so that your body's not going to be producing as much free testosterone. So the vegan diet really does have some dark sides to it. And this is things like depression, hair loss, hypothyroidism. And this comes from lack of things like iodine, like zinc. These are going to need to be supplemented. But here's the issue with the supplements. You're not going to be getting the same quality you would from a quality animal source. And that's where a lot of these vegans are starting to suffer because they're trying to out supplement a bad diet. Now, there are some people out there who will still continue to choose to be a vegan, even though they are not getting the health benefits they want because they are so afraid to kill an animal and have to consume an animal product. And those people are making that decision for themselves. But a lot of people are tricked into joining this vegan cult because they think it's going to increase their sex drive, increase their sexual health, increase their vitality, their energy, make them lose weight, help their heart. And some of these things could actually be true, but a lot of it's in the short term. And one of the biggest things that the vegan diet does right is it cuts out a lot of the junk processed meats that are very common in the standard American diet. And this is what's causing a lot of issues for people. And when they cut these foods out, they already start to feel a little bit better. And even especially if they start cutting out the processed foods, the processed foods are going to be even more detrimental. And this is why diets like the vegan diets are taking off, because people are starting to get nutrient dense, mineral rich foods that their bodies aren't used to. They're going to start juicing more. They're going to start getting things like chlorophyll. They're going to start supplementing more. And this is going to show them a short-term benefit. But in the long term, it's actually going to have a huge detriment on your overall well-being and your sexual health. And that's the big focus is your testosterone levels. It actually has been shown to fluctuate and decrease your testosterone, but not for reasons you might think. The main reasons behind this is because a lot of these foods are getting stuck into your system and they're not able to be processed the way that animal foods would be. Even low quality animal foods do have some benefits to them. And there's a big difference between things like chicken breast and steak. Chicken breast is pretty bland. It doesn't have many nutrients. Steak has a ton of micronutrients and omega-3s, which are very important for brain health. So we all know that vegan person. We're all aware that there's some vegans out there who are gonna be very frustrated about this video. And if you're concerned, or if you're just mad and just wanna talk about it in the comments below. We can discuss this in further detail and let me know what your favorite type of diet is. And if you've tried the vegan diet before, if you currently are vegan, if you feel great on the vegan diet, if you've tried it in the past and you're no longer vegan, if you're vegan for other reasons, for moral reasons, for ethical reasons, for environmental reasons, and let me know what your beliefs are, because we're all in this together. We're trying to improve men's health one person at a time, making sure that men can feel strong, can feel confident, and can take on anything in life. However, finding the right diet is a huge staple, and things like the vegan diet propaganda is hurting more men than it's helping. So we need to come together here and focus on what we can do to help men find the right diet for them, because there is no one size fits all diet. It's going to be tailored for different things for different men. And that's the beauty of learning about your own health journey and taking that to the next level. So comment below and then like and subscribe for your health.